Hey, what's up people? Tony here, and welcome back to another episode of TTBurger Game Reviews, and this is going to be another multi-part review. It's been a while since I've done one of these here, and those of you who have been a fan of my channel, subscribe to me and stuff, know that I am a big fan of the video game company Namco, and I've been a fan of a lot of their series such as Tekken, Soul Blade, Soul Calibur, Time Crisis, Starblade Alpha, and Cyber Sled, and more and more and more. And I reviewed many Namco games on the channel, and I reviewed many of their series as well. But there's one series that I never touched on, and I'm surprised I haven't yet, and that series is the Ridge Racer series. Now, those of you who grew up with the PlayStation stuff know what Ridge Racer was. It was basically an arcade racer that then involved you to win a race by drifting through sharp turns, and more and more and more. And in later games, they gave you nitrous and drifting at the same time and stuff. And it was fun arcade racing, didn't take itself too seriously and stuff, and it was just all classic fun. And we're going to be looking at some Ridge Racer games here for this episode, and this review will be in 6 parts here. Part 1, we're going to look at Ridge Racer. Part 2, Ridge Racer Revolution, which is known as Ridge Racer 2 in the arcades. And then Part 3, we're going to look at Rage Racer. Part 4, R4 Ridge Racer Type 4. Part 5, Ridge Racer 5. And then Part 6, Ridge Racer 7. Now, I know what you're all thinking, what about these Ridge Racer games here, like Ridge Racer 64, Ridge Racer DS, Ridge Racer for the PSP, and Ridge Racer 6, and Ridge Racer for the PlayStation Vita, and Ridge Racer Unbound and stuff, and all those. Well, I'll not be touching those because those Ridge Racer games, most of them suck ass and stuff. I mean, like, Ridge Racer 64 and Ridge Racer DS are pretty much the same song and dance, just they're not that much fun, especially with the N64 with the controls still like that, and the DS having some lame controls and stuff, and just not as fun as the PSP game, which the PSP game was pretty good, but I don't own a PSP anymore, so that's out of the picture there. And Ridge Racer 6 was good, but for the PSP we got a much better game, Ridge Racer 7, and Ridge Racer Unbound. Don't get me started on that game, because that game is basically a joke and pretty much an embarrassment to the Ridge Racer series. It's basically just Ridge Racer with a coat of burnout on it and stuff. I mean, seriously, when's the last time a Ridge Racer game had crashes and explosions and stuff in it and stuff? I mean, you tell me. That doesn't feel like Ridge Racer at all. And Ridge Racer for the PlayStation Vita? What a huge disgrace to the Ridge Racer series. It has nothing to do with Ridge Racer, just basically a glorified demo at full price and stuff, and it's definitely not worth it. But we're going to talk about the good Ridge Racer games here. We're going to get started with the original Ridge Racer, first released in the arcades in 1993, and then 1994 in Japan, and then in North America in 1995. And this is in the long box case here. If you can find it in the long box, it's definitely worth a collector item, because it's something you guys should know here about the original Ridge Racer, that this game was the very first game released for the PlayStation North America, so it was pretty much a launch title and stuff. Now, this game was supposed to become packaged with the PlayStation when it first came out, but for some reason it didn't do that. And what we get in its place here is a simple, fun arcade game. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe light on content, and there's not much to do in the game except for like the race and stuff, like racing the same course over and over, just with added difficulty and stuff. But still, for its time, it was a must-buy if you wanted to run a future 3D arcade racing, because like it was showing what the future of gaming was going to be like with 3D and racing, and how we were coming closer and closer to games being as close as the arcade ports and stuff. And that's basically what it was there. To put it all together, it's a simple, fun racing game, an arcade game at best, and I'm going to tell you how it is. Now, when we start the game here, we treated it with the mini-game Galaxian, which while the game loads up here, and of course I suck at this because I'm not good at a lot of these 2D arcade games here and stuff. So I died as you can see here, but like it's fun to play while you're waiting for the game to load up. And then we get to the main menu. You can watch the opening cutscene here, and it shows the Ridge Racer car driving around, which is the all-around car, the FA racing car, and just driving around. And then you hit start, and then you hear the announcer saying, "Ridge Racer! Alright everybody, 1 minute to go. Are you all set? The engines are ready to go. Are you all set?" And then you pick a car. You can choose from one of 4 cars. You got the all-around car, and you got the car that has better speed and acceleration but doesn't turn well and stuff, or vice versa and stuff. You have more and more and more, and I'm gonna play as all the cars to show you how it is, and then you can pick a course, beginner, mid-level, or high. Then you got TT for time trial and stuff, and like once you finish first in all of those, you unlock a new car and stuff. And funny thing is, like when it comes to unlocking cars, you can unlock other cars too by getting a perfect on the Galaxian mini game, which is very hard. I've tried it many times and I've failed at it and stuff, but if you can do it, then hey, you'll be treated with a lot of cool cars for you to play as and stuff. But even if you don't, you still got plenty of content here. I mean, sure, like I said, it may not be much, but it's still plenty for its time. Now that we picked our car, let's get into the race here. 3, 2, 1, go, and then we're off. And okay, we got ourselves a good start there, and we're just going to race around here, around the track. We got we got a 2-lap race in the beginner and mid-level and high and stuff. It's gonna be 3 laps and time trial as well, 3 laps. So whatever you do, it's gonna be great. Now, you may think that the courses are just the same, just higher difficulty. That's kind of true, but also it adds an extra part of the track for each difficulty and stuff. And especially like it can transition from day to night during the races too, in the higher difficulties as well. So no matter which difficulty you choose, you're going to be in for a treat there. And sure, like it may seem easy at first, but I'll tell you that point AI can be very tough and stuff. And they're going to be up for a challenge. They're going to do whatever they can to prevent you from getting into first place, because Ridge Racer is one of those type of games where you must get in first place to win. I mean, it's one of those type of games where you cannot come in second place or third place. You have to come in first place to advance and stuff and stuff, or to get whatever and stuff. That's basically what it is. And like, to be honest with you, I like those type of games, because when it shows that you need to come in first place, it's all about practice makes perfect. It helps you get prepared, and once you're ready to get in first place, you'll feel satisfied in the end, definitely. And like as you can see here, the game's presentation looks really good. It comes very close to the arcade game, aside from the slower frame rate and stuff, which was expected. But like the car models look great for its time, and the background racing track stuff looks nice too. I mean, the graphics haven't really aged the greatest, but I can forget this because this was a 1993 arcade game, then released in 1994 and 1995. So there was only so much you could do with this game. There's only so much you could do, so that's why it's understandable. I'm not gonna take points off of that. Sure, it is a kind of little box, and that the frame rate is a little slower and stuff, but I can understand this too. Just like you'll see what I mean there and stuff, because like you'll see what I mean. And that's pretty much what I can say about the graphics, aside from like how the racetrack, how the courses like transition from day to night in the higher difficulties and stuff too looks really cool, because that was like one of the few times on a home console where we had a game that was like that and stuff, and it showed that like the graphics were getting better, the gameplay was getting better, and everything was just getting better about gaming and stuff for the fifth generation and stuff. Now for sound, there's not really much to say aside from the engines of the cars and stuff. You have the announcer who pretty much says stuff like excellent cornering skills. You must be one efficient driver. You gotta teach me. Or like, great, wow, what a start. This is just what I wanted to see. Watch out, he's about to pass you. Or, be prepared. Come on, take him. Don't let him get away and stuff. I mean, like, I would say he's hokey, and he is hokey, but hokey in a good way, because it was the early '90s stuff. There wasn't like high pitched, high top notch voice acting like it was in games like Metal Gear Solid or anything like that. I mean, I know you shouldn't compare Metal Gear Solid to this and stuff, but I'm just saying like when it comes to voice acting wise and such. And you also have the music, which is this like Japanese techno stuff. I mean, when I first heard this stuff, I didn't like the music at first, but it kind of like got better for me and stuff, and I didn't have a problem with the music at all and stuff. And like the music is actually pretty good. It's like that upbeat Japanese techno stuff that like fits the racing game really well, and I like that. And now for the gameplay, I already pretty much talked about what you gotta do in the gameplay. You pretty much just pick a car and you race, and you must come in first place and stuff. And the opponent AI, like I said, will do everything they can to prevent you from coming in first place and stuff. And they put up a challenge, and that's the key word there about Ridge Racer is challenge. And like I mentioned before, like what you must do in Ridge Racer to succeed is drift. And you drift by like holding down the direction you want to turn in and pressing the X button and stuff to drift. I mean, it seems harder than it is and stuff like that, because the controls are somewhat weighted and stiff, and they don't work half the time. So you'll end up hitting the wall a lot. Like I did quite a few times here and stuff, especially on the higher difficulties, where like drifting just like got harder and harder for me. I'm not bashing the game or anything like that. It's just that like it is kind of a problem there, especially because like it was the first one I know that the controls were going to be not as good as it was in sequels and stuff, but still, it could have been better is the thing and stuff. I mean, like, just I'm not trying to bash the game here. Like I said, I mean, I love this game because this was the first game released for the PlayStation in North America. So I love this game. It pretty much made the PlayStation popular. And if it weren't for games like this, the PlayStation probably would not have been as popular as it was and stuff. So I'm not bashing it, like I said, but just like the controls needed some work on, definitely, because it can be very frustrating when you are in first place and all of a sudden you hit the wall and you lose first place and stuff and end up going into third place or so. That happened to me a lot in the game, and like it is annoying. So that's the thing there, but like it is somewhat, I can forgive it somewhat because it was the first game in the series. But like there really isn't much else to say about the game, because I know it seems like I didn't talk much about the gameplay. It's just like it was a simple arcade racer, and you have like a racetrack and 4 cars and stuff, and you pick a course, and then you race on the course track and stuff, and that's basically what it is. So there really isn't much else to say about the game here. So might as well give my final verdict of it right now. If you can find Ridge Racer, especially in the long box, and you own a PlayStation, definitely pick it up, because it's definitely worth it to show what the PlayStation had to offer when it first came out here in North America and stuff. And like it's definitely worth it because it was showing what's gonna happen with 3D racing, arcade racing stuff coming to the home consoles and stuff. And it was definitely worth it in the end. Due to the complaints I have with the game, like the slow, like the frame rate being a little bit slower, and the controls are a little stiff and stuff like that, I gotta take points off here and stuff, and I'm not gonna give it a perfect 10. It's still gonna get a high score of an 8.5 out of 10. That's the best score I can give it, because that's basically it was a good starting point, but it needed work, definitely. And that's pretty much what I gotta say for this episode. Stay tuned for the next part. We're gonna look at Ridge Racer Revolution, also known as Ridge Racer 2 in the arcades. Now, does this hold up and become better than its predecessor? Stay tuned to find out. Which all I gotta say, this is Tony. Peace out, and have a good day, and see you all in the next episode.